What's up, y'all? Marvel the Cross 316 back with another comic book flashback, and today we are looking at the Fantastic Four issue number 4. This issue came out in May of 1962, and today we are looking at the first appearance of Namor the Submariner. And this is the first Silver Age appearance. This is not his very first appearance, but his first appearance in the Silver Age. So it is a big issue that we're looking at today. He's a big threat to the Fantastic Four in their early days, and we're going to see exactly how he comes into play in this issue. So, as always, this is brought to you by Stan Lee. He wrote this issue, and Jack Kirby doing the penciling and artwork. Jack Kirby, as always, is one of the greatest comic artists of all time. And so we pick up, we're on chapter 1 on the trial of the Torch. And remember that last issue that we had the Human Torch leave the Fantastic Four after having an argument with the Thing. Remember, the Thing and the Human Torch have had their little arguments here and there, and they just have never really gotten along with each other. And so now the Fantastic Four are brooding, and they are just stumped as to how they're going to find the Human Torch. Because Johnny Storms, he's a young teenager, he's rambunctious, he could be anywhere at this point. And so the first thing we see is Mr. Fantastic blaming the Thing for what happened last issue. Remember from last issue we had the Miracle Man, and the Miracle Man had constructed this monster to take on the Fantastic Four, and the Human Torch single-handedly took down this monster. He was pretty much the main guy that took down this monster. But the Thing got jealous, and the Thing basically got in an argument with the Human Torch. And so the Human Torch had enough, and he left the Fantastic Four. And so now we see how, Mr. Fantastic is blaming the Thing for what happened, and the Thing is just like, I'm had enough of this. Whatever, let's just go find this kid. So they get into their Fantastic car, as we saw that from last issue. They have the Fantastic car, which they ride around the city here in New York City, and they're going to be on the search for the Human Torch. So where could the Human Torch be? So we see Susan Storm. She goes into the sit-down restaurant. And it's funny, the expression on this guy's face as he sees this entire Coke just be sipped clean gone. And he's like, it's a ghost, this place is haunted. And then we see Mr. Fantastic here. He's pulls these guys over by pretty much pulling this guy off his motorcycle, trying to ask where the Human Torch may be. Because remember, Johnny Storm is big on fixing hot rods. That's one of his biggest hobbies, is doing hot rods. And then we see that if Mr. Fantastic would have just looked a little further, he would have found him 1 mile from where the location was, and that's at Swanson's garage. Johnny Storm is at Swanson's garage, and he's just working on this hot rod as always. And we see the Thing actually finds the Human Torch first. So the Thing makes his entrance by smashing a hole in the wall, and he picks a fight right here with the Human Torch as we enter Chapter 2, and we're going to be focusing on Submariner, how Submariner comes into play here in a few minutes. And so the Thing and Human Torch are fighting. Johnny Storm's getting out, trying to dodge Thing's blows here. And then we see that the Thing actually turns back to Ben Grimm. He turns back to Ben Grimm for just a moment here, and he thinks, oh man, I'm a human again. But Johnny Storm's like, man, if only he would understand that this is a temporary change, that he's going to turn back, and as we see, he turns back to the Thing here. So it's just a little side effect of the cosmic rays, as we've seen, that the Thing temporarily shifts back to Ben Grimm. So the Human Torch is trying to, again, dodge the Fantastic Four, so he decides he's going to spend the night at a hotel, at a men's hotel. He sits down on his bed, and he's looking at a comic magazine, and it's a comic magazine of Submariner from the 1940s. Remember, Submariner fought in the World War II, it seems, back then. And so he's pretty much catching up on a history of Submariner, he's just minding his own business. The guy right next to Johnny Storm's like, hey, you know, there's a guy that has the same strength as a Submariner. That guy over there, see him, the raggedy looking dude? He can do as much damage as that comic book hero you're reading about. And so we look at this old man, and this old man right here, he's like, get out of my way, stop bothering me. He causes a big ruckus here, and Johnny Storm's like, wait a minute, let's see who really this guy is. So he burns off the beard here, and we've come to find out that this is Submariner. This whole time he's been in this hotel, and we see that he's lost his memory. He doesn't know who he is. So that's something to think about. Why is the Submariner, why has he lost his memory here? So we still see the search is going on for Johnny Storm. Mr. Fantastic is still trying to find the Human Torch. He contacts these guys in a helicopter, still can't find them. And so Johnny Storm is with the Submariner now. He's like, you know what, I got a plan. We're going to throw you into the ocean and see if you really are the Submariner. So he throws Namor into the ocean, and the ocean revives Submariner. But it doesn't only revive his strength, it also brings back his memory. And when the Submariner is down below and he's looking at the ruins of this ancient Atlantis city, he's seeing how radioactivity pretty much destroyed this city and the civilization because of the atomic test that America has been doing over the years. And so now we have an enraged Namor who wants revenge. And so that's what he's going to do now. He tells Johnny Storm that he's going to seek revenge on all of the surface world. He's going to bring all of the ocean's mightiest beings, all of the ocean's mightiest monsters to seek revenge. So now we're going to see a big threat, how Submariner is such a big threat here. Finally, we see Johnny Storm. He launches a flare up in the air. It's their signal that they have to alert danger. So now the Fantastic Four knows where the Human Torch is at. They meet the Human Torch. And finally, they're like, thank goodness, Johnny, you're safe. And Johnny's like, well, we got a bigger thing than just me being safe. We have the Submariner. And you said, what? The Submariner? And so the Submariner is already in the ocean at this point, and he alerts and reawakens this gigantic monster that's been asleep for centuries with this ancient horn that he uses. And this monster comes on the surface, and I mean, my goodness, look at this guy right here. I mean, that would scare anybody right there if you saw something come out of the ocean like that. So the military gets involved. They're trying their best with their tanks. The tanks are not doing anything to stop this creature. The only thing to stop this creature would be a bomb. And so what are we going to see right here? We're going to see that the Thing here is going to strap a bomb on his back, and he's going to go inside of this gigantic fish. And oh man, can the Thing be able to detach this bomb in time to save his own life? That's the only way. So he's going to go inside of this fish, the belly of the fish. He sees all of the things that this fish is eaten. He even fights this alien-looking fish monster while he's in. And luckily, he runs out of the fish in time before it goes kaboom. So this gigantic monster is done, but it actually takes a lot out of the Thing here. So Namor still doesn't give up. He's like, I'm not through yet. I still have my horn. But we see the Invisible Woman here. She takes the horn, and Namor hasn't met the rest of the Fantastic Four yet. It's like a floating horn. What's going on? He tackles the Invisible Woman, and oh my, he falls in love with the Invisible Woman, Susan Storm. He's like, my goodness, I've never seen a girl like you. You're the loveliest human I've ever seen. He said, you need to be my bride. He said, you be my bride, and I might just spare this surface world. And so he's like, he's still threatened to pretty much destroy the population of New York with this horn. He can pretty much summon all of these sea creatures to do his bidding. And so he's given Susan Storm a choice. Join him and be his bride, become Princess Namorita or Namora, and I'll spare you. But the Fantastic Four, the other three members, are not having any of it. And so they try to attack Namor here. Namor pretty much strikes all three of these guys down. So the Human Torch comes up with a quick plan. He launches up into the air by flaming on, and he creates this man-made tornado, and it sucks Namor into the tornado and this gigantic fish that's dead, throws them into the ocean. And so by doing that, Namor's ancient horn, or trumpet here, falls into the murky depths of the ocean to be lost forever. But we see Namor here, he may have lost this battle, but we can be sure enough he's going to return in future Fantastic Four issues, as he sees that he still wants to seek revenge on the surface world, as well as get his revenge on the Fantastic Four. And so the Fantastic Four now have a new threat with Namor. So I hope you like this issue. Go ahead and like this video and subscribe if you have not. And as always, go ahead and continue to read comics, enjoy this hobby, and I will meet you next time as we look at Fantastic Four, issue number 5.